Steve, we're in Israel for the Maccabi Under-19 Winter Tournament. How important is it for these players to experience different cultures as part of their development?
Very important, I think, and also challenging themselves football-wise. Obviously, playing away in a different country. The boys only arrived yesterday, long flight, early start, all the kind of things they'll have to adapt to if they make it, to the top of the game. So, I think on both levels, on football, culturally, it's an amazing place, as you've probably already seen. Obviously, a part of the world where there's so much going on, so much historically, so many things that are happening now, some good, obviously some not so good, but I think it's all important for people to understand that. And for a lot of the lads that we've brought, once in a lifetime opportunity. I wouldn't think it would be something a place they would normally think to come. So I'm really excited. I'm very excited to see the first game. Excited to mix with the boys and see what they discover about this place and how much they enjoy it or what they find out about it, really.
And how did the invite to the tournament actually come about?
So Ben Mansford, who was actually Joel Ward's agent when I first met him, when we signed Joel back in the days in the Championship, became the chief exec out here, and we've always stayed in contact. And he said to me, "You should come out and have a look at what we're doing." And Geordie Cruyff was the coach at the time, so I came out on a visit and obviously understanding different football, different parts of the world, how it all works, where they find their players, how they manage their players. And Maccabi had a very successful period, even got into the Champions League group stages, I think, at one point. So, and then just out of that we had conversations, and he said, "Would you consider bringing it? We have an under-19 winter tournament, their winter, not our winter, nothing like our winter. Would you consider bringing a team?" So, I thought it was a fantastic idea, broached it with the academy. Obviously there's a lot involved in us bringing a team out here, but they were supportive. They felt it was something that would be good for the boys, so we made it happen. So it's very exciting to see it all the plans come to fruition.
And I know you've been out here, you mentioned Ben. Do you know much else about the other Israeli teams involved in the competition?
Well, B'nai Jerusalem, who are playing now, are obviously the big team in Jerusalem. Not so much about the other teams. I think the first team we're playing are the second biggest team in Israel. So Maccabi, obviously, I know well anyway, and I knew well through Ben. B'nai Jerusalem, there's actually a fascinating Netflix documentary that's worth watching about them. So it's a very, very unusual part of the world, and football is obviously a massive sport here. And I'm learning more about it as I go along and more about the teams. Hopefully, the only thing I want to know is we're better than all of them.
And last month there was a big news about the academy. You've got the 75-year lease.
Absolutely.
At the academy side, and how important is that going forward to help the development, along with trips like this, of the young players at the football club?
Well, I think, as I've often said, football clubs, it's very difficult to get from there to there in one jump. You've got to go through the gears, really, and we all know how successful our academy's been over the years, but we know that that's not always been because of the facilities that it's had, and it's becoming a much more competitive world on recruitment. And obviously we've got both a great catchment area but a fair amount of competition with the bigger teams around us, and we'd fallen behind, and it was very difficult to find a piece of land. So the fact that we've secured this piece of land for 75 years and beyond if we want it, which to all intents and purposes is freehold land really, in an inner city location where the boys can get to quickly, so we can still use our uniqueness, the kind of thing that have helped find these players, and hopefully we can uncover a lot more. It will need more investment, and that's all in the pipeline, and we're looking at all the plans and what we do now. So it's just a massively important step for the club to leverage what is one of its biggest assets, which is where it is. The two things, the stand and the academy, will really mine, if you like, the big advantages that we've got because of our location. And if we can do that, I think it can see us in good stead for a long time. You have to remember, when I came, more or less everybody played on the same pitch.
Yeah.
We didn't own our own training ground. What is now the first team training ground was where everybody trained. All of the 180 boys in the academy were either at the Crystal Palace Sports Centre or that training ground. We rented the location at Goals. Obviously, sharing the site hasn't been ideal, and now we've secured it, and we'll have all of it, and it will just be a massive sea change for the club and the staff, and hopefully we'll see the outcomes in players that we bring through.
Another topic on investment. It's a January, it's always a busy month for football clubs. How have you found this month to negotiate? Different to others?
Well, I think we are trying to be calm about what we do. It isn't a great window to do business. I think there are opportunities rather than the things that you can make happen, and you've got to look at each opportunity and shine a light on it. And will it make us better? There's a lot of noise around transfer windows now where everybody just wants you to do something, but I think it's important to do the right thing. So we're very excited about the keeper. I think if we get that finalised today, that'll be an exciting one for the future. And we've got maybe one or a push, two other things that we might be able to do before the deadline. Unfortunately, it's been well reported that probably the one that we wanted to bring in the most, we didn't feel would help us in the time because of an injury situation. And we think now that what we're looking at can help us. So that's the important thing. If we're going to bring something in, it's either got to be for the future because it's an opportunity like the keeper, or it's got to be something that can genuinely help us now. Everything else is just noise, really. So that's what we're looking at. Dougie's working hard. Unfortunately, we couldn't all come. Dougie was due to come. We hoped that we'd have everything done by now, but we haven't. So he's had to stay back, holding the fort and trying to put things together with the manager, and we'll see what we can do.
Cool. And so always a busy football week for you, but this one's especially busy. You've got the tournament and you're getting back in time for Sunday against Spurs. What do you think of that tie? Obviously a great FA Cup tie at Selhurst Park.
It's amazing, isn't it? That the draw throws up these things. Obviously the last time we got to the final, we beat them at their place. Look, I think it's a great occasion. Everybody's saying that we've got a chance because of the players that they've got out. I think we'd have a chance anyway. We've beaten Tottenham and we're a good side. I think probably there'll be some changes. I don't know what they are. Let's just hope it's a great game. And of course, for all the fans, first of all, for some fans, it's a chance to come and enjoy Selhurst Park because there's tickets available often when they're not normally available because of the season ticket situation. And also, it's a good occasion for all of us to just relax a little bit and enjoy a game of football, rather than the pressure that sometimes is on in the Premier League. And I hope if we do that, we can get a great crowd, we can get great support, we can have a great night.
Yeah, it'll be a great game, and as you said, it's a nice break from the Premier League, but after that game we've got two massive games, Southampton and Fulham. It's been a really tight Premier League season. How do you see the rest of it panning out, especially those two games?
Well, I've given up second guessing it. I think, look, what we need is to understand that we can win or lose every Premier League game, every single one. So nobody's got a right to be in the Premier League. You've got to get to that magic 38-40 point mark. So they will be massive games, and we need to be on our mettle. We need to get points from them. So we all want to pull away from looking down and start trying to look up, because I think we're a good enough team to do that. But we can't keep bemoaning luck and all things that I would agree. I don't think have gone our way particularly, but the results are results, as Roy would say. He's more realistic than anybody about that. You don't get what you deserve. Often you get what you get. So we need to focus on those two games. They're very important for us, as are the rest of the season, and make sure we retain our status and hopefully do better than that. And look up the league a bit.